Echo, trigger and content warning. Echo contains themes of an adult nature, including violence, torture, drug usage, and harsh language. Echo can be an emotionally intense experience and may not be for everyone. Please put your mental well-being first and take this into consideration before watching Chula.
Because I can't properly snore into the mic.
Stop!
I heave for breath as I chase TJ. I heave for breath as I chase TJ down the dusty street, trying not to pop the water balloon that I'm holding it with my claws.
You please chase me!
TJ's whining again, but I don't care. He's always the funniest one to hit. His crazy speed made it all the more rewarding. Even though he's a grade lower, he could outrun me easily. I still keep up with him, though, since he's running around houses and mailboxes. My 4th grade brain is easily able to figure out ways to cut him off. It's not long before I have him backed up against the back of the Benally's trailer home. He does a stupid dance where he's running back and forth, covering his head.
Sorry.
I stick my tongue out of the side of my muzzle, following him back and forth with the balloon I have cocked behind my head. Hold still!
Oh!
He finally curls up in a ball against the house, crouching in the dirt and in his blue swim trunks. I stop. Well, it's not fun if you're not gonna try and run. He looks up at me between his fingers.
You always throw it too hard.
Well, he suddenly darts to the right, but I'm ready, hurling the balloon right at his back. It doesn't explode though, instead smacking against his spotted back with a wet splat.
Oh!
He skids to stop, then immediately bends and scoops up the balloon, grinning at how the tables had turned. Uh-oh! I start jogging backwards as TJ heaves back with the balloon, but I don't have anything to worry about. In his excitement, he grips the balloon too hard, and I can see how his claws dimple the rubber before it explodes mid-throw. Water showering his head, and dust kicks up as dark spots speckled the ground, just like his fur, I think. He gasps the way cats do whenever they get any water on them, and I point and laugh. I can tell he's deciding whether or not to sulk and cry, and I hold my breath because I don't want the game to end. I think I win him over because he smiles and starts to laugh too.
That always happens to me.
Well, don't hold it so hard.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were. I saw. I see TJ's ears perk as he looks over towards the front of the house. What? But that's when I hear it too.
Alright, who wants to do this voice?
Since we're being kids, let's have Arden.
Okay. What did you do with those water balloons? Don't touch me! I'm not touching you. Just give me the fucking balloons.
Clint and Jeremy. Carl must have followed us and they saw him out the window. My guts dropped to my feet, and I feel like I'm gonna pee myself. TJ covers his mouth as I see tears starting to brim in his eyes. I think fast. I could go run and get Leo. Leo can help. He can help. Before I know it, TJ's tearing across the backyards of the houses, up the block where Leo's filling water balloons. At least that's where I hope he's going. Slowly, I pad around the house, peeking around the corner to the front yard. Carl's standing there with his fists clenched, staring hard, trying to look defiant, but I can tell he's terrified. Multicolored water balloons are scattered around his hooves. He must have been carrying them all in his white tank top. He always wore a shirt when he did water games.
What's the matter, cumface? I'm not gonna hurt you. Nah.
Heh,
Oh, you do it, Jeremy.
heh, right.
Jeremy laughs stupidly at Clint and bends down to pick up a purple water balloon. Clint starts circling around Carl, and the ram follows him with his muzzle, nostrils flaring. As he's looking the other way, Jeremy throws the water balloon right in Carl's face. Following the smack of rubber on muzzle, the balloon explodes, showering all three of them in water. Carl whimpers and covers his face. I grip the side of the house, knowing I should do something, but my legs aren't moving.
Leave me alone!
Carl's doing a good job of not crying, but he's about to.
Hey, we're just playing.
Clint leans down to pick up another water balloon. That's when Carl makes a break for it, dodging around the bent over Clint towards the street. Clint's too fast though, and the ring-tailed cat instantly reaches out and catches Carl by one of his horns. He rides him for a second, jumping on Carl's back before using his long tail to trip the ram up. Carl lands on his stomach with a loud grunt as Clint sits on his back, holding onto his horns.
God, he stepped on my tail!
Clint grabs for both of Carl's horns and leans back so far that he can hear his spine cracking. Carl screams in pain and reaches for his horns. With his face pointing to the sky, I can see the tears rolling down his face now. The one eye I can see is wide open, and I think he sees me, but my legs won't move. Hey! Hey! Leo jogs up the street, looking right at Clint. The ringtail sneers, but drops Carl back to the ground and stands up as Leo gets closer.
The fuck do you want? I'm not comfortable saying that
No,
word.
we are not saying we're not saying that word. Clint's weary. His casual demeanor more tense now that Leo's here. I sigh with relief. Carl sits up and quickly rubs his face before standing up and running back up the street, his hooves clopping loudly all the way. Leo doesn't even look at him, his eyes on Clint.
I said, what do you want? You no understand?
Honestly, Leo might not have understood. He'd only been here less than a year. Still, Leo doesn't say anything, his jaw working, and I wonder if he's imagining chewing on Clint's neck.
You're fucking crazy. Let's go, Jeremy.
Clint is afraid of Leo, and he'd left us alone ever since that the wolf had moved in, at least for the most part. Even though they were both 13, Leo is a head taller and almost twice as wide. Leave them alone! Clint stops.
What?
Leave them alone! Forever. Clint looks hesitant, obviously not wanting to stay, but unable to leave now that Leos had thrown out a challenge. Not in front of Jeremy.
Or what?
Or, he thinks for a second, is not good for you. Painful. I hadn't been paying attention to Jeremy, but I see a sudden movement from behind Leo's, followed by another smack and a splash. Leo arches his back, hissing at the pain from how hard Jeremy had thrown it. The wolf whirls around, one paw rubbing at the back of his at his back as he snarls at Jeremy, who points and laughs. And another word we're not going to say. He doesn't see Clint running at him from behind. Leo! I yelp out his name and he doesn't turn around, only to catch a sucker punch right in the stomach. I can hear the thud along with all the air going out of him all the way from here. Leo stumbles back and stops with his paws on his knees, gasping. I wince and cover my eyes, only to pull them back down immediately as I see Jeremy leaping on Leo from behind and biting his ear. Leo screams in pain, but immediately twists and slams his knee into Jeremy's crotch. Jeremy lets go and lets out his own scream, which Leo puts an end to when he grabs the fox and swings him around by the shirt. Jeremy's forward momentum is brought to a halt as he slams headfirst into an oak tree. He goes down. Clint's scared, his eyes wide as he looks from Leo to Jeremy to the front door. Leo doesn't give him a chance, though, running forward and hitting him with a tackle that slams them both to the ground. I think I hear Clint start to beg, but Leo's
Please, no.
But Leo's
not the face.
But Leo's fists start raining down on his face. Now all I can hear are crunching, fleshy thuds as punch after punch hits Clint's face. And I can hear Leo too. ¿Quieres pelear? No me jodas! The sound Clint makes go from snarling to screaming to gurgling, and I cover my ears because it sounds so terrible. Again, I feel like I should stop this. Leo looks like he's in a trance with how focused he is on hurting Clint. But again, I'm too terrified. I run in the direction Carl went. I need to tell him I'm sorry, that I should have helped him somehow, but that I was so scared. Even though this road doesn't lead to his house, I somehow get there. The sky is red and orange, even though it was noon just a few minutes ago. For some reason, Carl's house is bigger, much bigger than it should be. The architecture is pointier, different. I walk around it, slowly looking for Carl. I look down, I see hoof prints. They're too big to be Carl's, but I follow them anyway. They lead around the back of the house right up to a wooden set of cellar doors. I reach out to them even though I feel something terrible welling up inside my stomach. I pull on them, but they're stuck, as if welded shut somehow. A window well next to the doors draws my attention, and I get down onto my knees, then on my stomach, as I look intently through the window. There are little clear spots on the glass, little paw prints breaking through a layer of old dust. The paw prints of children. The room is almost pitch black, but the red light behind me illuminates some of the cement ground, though, through the windows. Behind the paw prints, I see something long and spindly crawling across the ground. I don't know where I am at first as I open my eyes, but I dimmed Lucha Lobo, but the dimmed Lucha Lobo lamp tells me. Laying there for a while, I realize that Carl's no longer on top of me. My face fur is a little wet and my nose is stuffy. I look around thinking that Carl probably went back to his bed, but he's not there either. Must be getting a drink or something. A dull, far-off thud makes me open my eyes again. I listen carefully, starting to worry that the sound came from downstairs. Again, I hear it, and it makes me jump this time. Shit. Is it happening again? I hear a voice coming from the same area, directly below me. It's a lot more muffled, but I can still tell it's a voice, muttering and cursing. Carl? My voice is weak and warbly in the heavy silence of the dark house. The scuffling sounds below me stop for a second, though then it starts up again, more vigorous now. Slowly I sit up, listening to the whispering and thudding beneath me. My mind flashes to Duke, the weasel, foot forward, his eyes locked on me. Finally, the anxiety gets to me and I stand up, walking as quietly as I can from the room to the hallway. The kitchen is dark and I move over to the front door to check to see if it's locked. It is. So I move over to the stairs and look down into the inky blackness, almost afraid to turn on the lights. Nothing jumps out at me when I do, but the light is actually making me more afraid, knowing that it will light up anything that's down there. I move down the stairs as quietly as I can, every creak making my fur bristle. The sound scraping is louder now, and so is the voice. I'm almost positive that it's Carl, but I can't be sure. I call out his name again, but it's almost a whisper in my throat. I clasp my paws together against my chest, eyes flicking to each doorway as I slowly move down the hall, not wanting Carl to get the jump on me. When I finally get to the crawl space door, I can pick up a rhythmic thumping along with the scrapes, and the muttering of much clearer now.
Buried inside. Help!
I shiver. Carl, this isn't funny. Again, my voice is weak and unconvincing. He probably didn't even hear me. Another thump almost shakes the house and I jump. What the hell is he doing? Is it even Carl? Did whoever is down here murder him and is now in the process of burying his body? The fear is too much, and I know I have to open the door now and put an end to this stupid prank, or I'm going to call 911 and make everything worse. With each step I take towards the door, it feels like the air gets more electrified. Sorry, I'm starting to shake. The charge making my first stand on end all over my body. As soon as I touch the tiny knob on the door and start to pull it open, though, the sound stops. I freeze, listen hard. I get the feeling that whatever is down there is doing the exact same thing. Then I hear series of thuds as whatever it is runs at the door. I fall back and I can't help myself from shrieking, landing on my ass and scooting backwards with my paws and feet. The door flies open and I am face to face with Dusty Carl. Carl, what the fuck? I scream at him, my chest heaving as I clutch it like I'm about to have a heart attack. He looks confused, looking around, then back at me, breathing hard himself.
Just I was just...
I wait, but he doesn't say anything. There's white dust all over his horns and on his shoulders. Just what? I yell at him again and he jumps. I'd feel bad if I wasn't so freaked out.
I sleepwalk sometimes, okay?
I debate whether or not to accept that as an answer, but looks confused enough that it just might be true. You scared the shit out of me. Carl moves out of the crawl space, leaning over to brush his head off.
Who scared the shit out of me? I didn't know where I was.
I slowly get to my feet, still breathing heavily. What is that stuff? What were you doing in there?
Just dust. It's dirty down here.
Again, I feel like he's leaving stuff out. I try to look past him into the crawl space, but he closes the door.
Come on. I need a smoke after that.
I stand back to let him pass, tempted to open the door again. He grabs my arm when he sees me looking, though.
Seriously, dude. Let's go. I don't really want to be alone in this house right now. Please?
I look at him and I can tell that he's definitely freaked out. I would be too if I woke up in that crawl space. Yeah. Let's go. Slowly I follow him, looking back at the door before flicking off the light. Hey there, rookies! Thanks for watching this week's episode of Terrified Tuesday. If you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it does help out the channel. To catch up on previous episodes on this series, please check out the playlist over here, or to watch the previous episode by clicking over here. And remember that today's adventure may have ended, but your story continues. Until next time.